Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And I was once again very lucky to get an early access screener to a film that does not actually come out until next year. And it was from the director and writer of this film that I received it. The movie that I'm referring to is the 2026 film, The Demoness, directed and written by Andrew DeBerg. This is not actually the first time that Andrew has sent me an early access screener to one of his films. I also did a review for The Seductress from Hell. So if you haven't seen that one, give that one a watch as well. With both of these movies having similar themes, I'm very curious as to whether or not Andrew is going to end up doing a trilogy that is just non connected. So let me tell you more about this film. The film starts off with us meeting a married couple who we very quickly realize do not belong together. They are constantly arguing and having fights, and it's just not working out. But this is where our main character of the Demoness comes in, as it appears her infernal job is to sow discourse and issues between people till they eventually get to a point of offing one another. Now, this particular demoness wants a little bit more out of her eternal life, as she's not just satisfied with causing this kind of chaos, she wants to be personally involved with it. So she ends up making a deal with her Dark Lord, where she can now take on the presence of a human form so that she can personally get her hands dirty for him. She then creates the persona of a woman named Charlotte, and for the rest of the film is now trying to use her human vulnerability to lure people in. Now, if you haven't seen The Seductress from Hell, you're just going to have to take my own personal opinion on this. I really do think that Andrew stepped it up a bit from his last film, and I love seeing these improvements. I was really happy to see improvements on the acting, characters, story, sets. All of that just looked a little bit better than his last project. Now, there were a few things that I felt could still be improved upon. The first thing I would say is a bit more backstory for some of these characters, where whether or not you like them or hate them, something that gets you a little bit more hooked into who they are. Second, there are, at least for me, only a couple, not throughout the film, but a couple of scenes that feel like the conversation that's happening or what's occurring during the scene feels like it drags on a little bit longer than it needs to. And finally, Andrew, if you do remember my review for your last film, I would say some of the props and costumes. I mean, I don't know if this is becoming your signature or not, but the weapons used throughout the film and at least a couple of the costumes feel like you just kind of ransacked a Spirit Halloween store. So like I said, I don't know if this is just something that you're specifically doing, but if you want to hire me to be your props or costume guy, I would absolutely be willing to help you out on your next film. So I wouldn't necessarily say that this film is leaps and bounds above Andrew's first one, but I see the work, the passion, and the effort that he's putting into this. So I think part of that is going to cause me to give the score I'm going to give to this one, which is going to be a 3 out of 5. I really just want to see Andrew succeed here and potentially kind of keep growing. Pretty soon it's going to be going into the festival circuit, but hopefully it does well enough that it will actually get a full release in theaters instead of just select theaters. But it will be coming out sometime next year. No specific dates, but do keep an eye out for it. You can watch everything by following these two links on Instagram if you want to keep up on the Demoness. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Skewed Reviews. And once again, a big thank you to Andrew for allowing me to watch another film that you've created. Hopefully, I'm helping to get a little bit more attention your way. But if anyone else out there is making a film and wants someone to be able to give it a little more attention itself, feel free to reach out to me.